The 10x Wealth Leadership Bootcamp is a very dynamic program. This is a unique program designed by Global Capital Inc., and it is designed to target the business mind, the entrepreneurs. It's designed to target the average individual who wants to achieve more financially, and it is designed to target government institutions. And to help you to understand the significance of this program, just permit me to outline some of those benefits. In this program, we look deep into the belly of strategic approaches and systems that can be created surrounding what we call the personal paycheck protection program, the corporate paycheck protection program, the corporate cash flow protection program, and government protection cash flow protection program, or government paycheck protection program. And as we go deep into this, the belly of this program is really to show new innovative approaches that can be used, you leveraging the 10x World Leadership content to build out these platforms. Along with this, the 10x World Leadership Bootcamp stands on 3+1 pillar. And just let me explain this a little bit. One of the pillars of this program, we look at wealth love language. And under wealth love language, you find three breakout initiatives. You find the DCM, the debt capital market, you find the ECM, the equity capital market, and you find the SCM, the smart capital market, or the beginner's financial market. Just to prepare you today, we will be looking at the beginner's financial market, or the fast capital market, smart capital market. On the other hand, the second pillar of this program is where we look at three additional significant breakouts. And that's where we talk about wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead. Step two, we speak of wealth leadership and the process of seeing beyond problems. And step three is wealth leadership and the process of taking informed action. Absolutely essential body of knowledge for you to have in order to navigate a world of finance and put yourself and your people in a position of strength to experience financial independence. These programs are even more important in light of COVID-19 and the devastating effect it is having on the private individual, the private sector, and government institutions. The last element of this program, the last point, is what we call the income audit analytics. This is also a love language. But what exactly is the income audit analytics? Here is where we look very deep at your income against your expenditure against your balance sheet against your future plans, and your future plans against smart investment strategies. In most cases, when we look at your balance sheet, we recognize that your balance sheet will never be able to give you your future plans that represent your dreams and hopes and aspirations that you have for yourself and your family. So when we recognize this, the best thing that we do is to bring you straight over to what we call smart investment portfolios. And this is what gives you a fighting chance to navigate the rough terrains that you're experiencing in terms of capital lack or financial lack, and put you in that place where you can experience greater access to capital and cash flow. Now, many of you who are following this program, you are quite familiar with me talking about the DCM, the debt capital market, the ECM, the equity capital market. We have talked about how the different portfolios or financial models within these sectors and we've also talked about how to access these markets. We are yet to look at how to leverage them to cash flow maximize. Today, what I want us to do is to spend some time looking at the smart capital market or the beginner's financial market. This is a very unique and important market for you to understand because there are major differences between the smart capital market or the beginner's financial market and the DCM and the ECM. What makes a difference is that when you understand the smart capital market, the beginner's financial market, and you're able to raise capital here, all of the capital belongs to you. You don't have to pay interest and principal on capital raised here. And you don't have to pay dividend and yield on capital raised here. But it requires a tremendous amount of skill set and willpower that we will begin the process of looking at today. But just before I get into today's program, do permit me to introduce myself. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the multiple best-selling author for several books, including Manager's Toolkit and Billionaire Codes. My new book titled 10X Branding and Marketing, The Psychology of Doing Business, will be released very soon, sometime in this year. This book is a unique book. You will learn about A to Z in terms of best practices that you can apply to achieve larger than life impact with your brand. A very unique program. All right, so let's get right back to today's program. When we look at the wealth love language, there's three important concepts for you to understand. One is the DCM, the debt capital market, the ECM, the equity capital market, and the SCM, the smart capital market. Today, we will spend some time talking about the smart capital market, and I believe that this topic has tremendous importance to you. This is a program that is relevant to every small business that is struggling to raise capital. It is relevant to every individual who have dreams and hopes and aspirations and just cannot figure out how to raise the capital to make it happen. It is relevant to people across the board, people locally, regionally, and beyond. So welcome on this journey as we dig deep into this program. Now, there are three important concepts for you to recognize and truly take the time out to appreciate these three concepts. Those three concepts begin by you understanding what the term that we call target market analytics. I'll go deep into that today. The second concept that for you to have is value proposition analytics. And the third concept here is team dynamics analytics. These three important concepts, if you are to learn them and to master them, it will give you a tremendous competitive advantage in business and in life. So I trust that you will take the time out to take notes, document these questions, these systems. And in the event that you have questions, you should feel free to reach out to me to ask me any question in relation to the subject matter. Now, again, just to recap, we are looking at the smart capital market or the beginner's financial market. And to truly understand how to leverage this market, it's important for you to commit the time, the talent, and the resources to understand three important concepts. And I repeat them. You need to understand the target market dynamics. You need to take the time to really understand your target market dynamics. And I'll talk about that. Take the time to understand value propositioning, all right, analytics, and take the time to understand team dynamics analytics. Now, let's talk about the first concept, which is the target market analytics. Now you're going into this market, and one of your primary mission is to raise capital. You want to raise capital because you want to allocate those funds to a new business venture. You want to raise those capital because you want to perhaps invest in real estate. You want to raise capital because you do not want to use your primary source of income. You want to use this secondary source of income to achieve some asset. So you're going to the market. But in going to that market, you're going with expectations. And the expectation is to raise the capital. But it's important, one of the first things for you to look at is to take the time to understand your target market. And here is where the question comes up, which is more important, your value proposition or your knowledge of the target market? Is your offer more important than understanding your target market? In this case, understanding your target market is absolutely necessary. And in this case, it trumps the value proposition, because taking the time to understand your target market, it is what allows you to make informed and educated decisions about what are those needs and wants and expectations of the target market. What are the dreams and hopes and aspirations of your target market? What is the size, density, geographical dispersion of your target market? You can only have this kind of information when you take the time to do the specific target market analytics. You cannot even build out your value proposition before understanding all of this. Because yes, you may build a value proposition, but then the value proposition may not be aligned to the needs and wants and expectation of the specific target market because you didn't do the research. Now let's talk a little bit more about the work that has to be done as it relates to target market analytics. Now, there are several things that you can do in terms of gathering information about the needs and wants and expectations of the target market. One of the things that most young entrepreneurs do, or inexperienced people do, is speculative analysis. What exactly do I mean by speculative analysis? You're going to a market because you want to cash flow maximize. You are going to potential consumers. You're going to a smart capital market because you're finding smart ways to raise the capital. You're going to the beginner's financial market. This is not a market for you to trivialize. This is a market for you to really take the time to understand, and you cannot sit on your throne and speculate into the needs, wants, and expectation of a specific target market, and you innovate a product or a service and you supply that, and when it doesn't work, you cry out loud. No. This is the kind of market that you don't want to be speculative. And I want to say this. You can raise hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, and perhaps billions of dollars here if you know exactly what you're doing. And one of the first things that you want to do to ensure that you really understand what you're doing is to take the time to understand the market. And it is not about doing speculative market analysis. Speculative market analysis is guesswork. You want to get the guesswork out of the market research, and you want to get some skin in the game. Get the guesswork out of market analytics and get some skin in the game. You want to be successful in leveraging the smart capital market. You want to be successful in leveraging the beginner's financial market. Get the speculation out of the game and get some skin in the game. And the way you get some skin in the game, you can do two things. One, you can do secondary market research. And by secondary market research, you want to tap into census return. You want to tap into published data. You want to tap into historical data that will allow you to understand the details of your specific target market. And by this, what I mean, you may introduce a product or a service to the market, but it doesn't mean that everybody's going to be able to buy your products and services. Is there a way that you can understand the number of persons that are living in your country? And is it possible for you to understand their income earning potential? What is their monthly income? What is their monthly take home? From there, you can extrapolate what kind of disposable income they may have to invest in your program. All of this allows you to make informed and educated decision as to how to target your products and services at the specific target market, how to set your price, how to influence your target market to achieve desired results, because you might just be speaking to the wrong audience, the audience that don't have the disposable income to invest in your innovative thought process. So getting to the ground to get the critical market intelligence is absolutely necessary when you're attempting to access the smart capital market or the beginner's financial market. You want to know that you know the people that you're targeting. You want to know their needs and wants and expectations, their dreams and hopes and aspirations. You want to know this. It's about knowing. So the step one is about literally getting yourself marinated with the knowledge of the target market needs. Get your skin wet, get your feet wet, get some skin in the game in relation to information gathering. But there's something that I must say about secondary research. Secondary research, if it is not updated, it could waste your time and waste your effort. So secondary data, if it is not recently done, you may not be able to rely on this kind of information as you position yourself to enter that market, because the information may be historical, and historical is not necessarily accurate. It's not relevant to what's happening today. All right. 2 years ago, we didn't have COVID-19. And 2 years ago, you were doing training in the banquet hall, you were doing training in the lecture hall, you were doing training in theaters. You can't do that today. So to roll out your brand in the theater where you're going to have cluster and increase, risk of people contracting the COVID-19, you cannot leverage that approach. So if you have any data that is saying that this is the way how we do it, that data is outdated. You have to use a modern approach now to get people into cluster while they social distance. Perhaps you have to leverage social media platforms to achieve the similar objective or even greater objectives, greater targets. So this hence the importance of the market research. This now brings me to the point to talk about the last tenet, which is the primary market research. You're getting into business. You are positioning yourself to leverage the smart capital market and the beginner's financial market. You need primary data. You need to do the primary research, regardless of if it costs you. Perhaps there are smart and innovative ways to bring that cost down, or there are smart and innovative ways to eliminate those costs. If you want to know how, I want to encourage you to reach out to us at Global Capital Inc. I'll be happy to give you a crash course in this process. But you cannot shortchange primary market intelligence. You need the primary market intelligence to make an informed and educated decision as to the best approach that you can use to integrate your brand, your services into the market to be able to influence the specific target market and achieve desired results. So the three things that we look at here on the target market analytics is speculative analysis, secondary market analysis, and primary market analysis. The one that trumps it all is the primary market analysis, because this is what will allow you to really understand the size of your market, the needs, wants, and expectation of the market, the viability of that market, the market enablers, the market accommodators. And you need to know these things. You want to know why you're failing? Because you're not taking the time to understand this. For some of you, it's too much of work. You think getting rich is about a get rich quick syndrome. No, it's about a process. And when you take the time to understand the process and you apply this process to your business and to your life, there is where you achieve desired results. So at Global Capital Inc., we are excited about this 10x Wealth Leadership Bootcamp. This is only a tip of the iceberg that you're getting here. But remember, when you're working with Global Capital Inc., we give you the theory, but then we hold your hands and we provide the mentorship, the coaching, and the support to ensure that you get the concept and you can also apply the concept. Remember, knowledge is power, but power without application is futile. All right? Knowledge is power, but power without application is futile. And what you want to do is to put yourself in that position of strength to take this knowledge and apply this knowledge to achieve desired results. So we have a team of business consultants, we have a team of certified public accountant, we have a team of economists, we have a team of venture capitalists and private equity investor, team of investment bankers, and so much more to work with you to ensure that you achieve your primary financial objectives. Remember, we operate in a platform where we divorce ourselves from risk. We have too much of expertise within to expose ourselves or any of our clients to any risk. Now, this 10x Wealth Leadership Program is going to run for between 5 months to 32 weeks. And I want to tell you, it's going to be exciting. We can roll it out shorter, but we are not about rolling out program fast to say we roll out programs. We're about rolling out programs that delivers information that allows you to apply that information and allows you to achieve the results. We hold ourselves totally accountable for that entire process. The information transfer, there are many institutions that will just give you the information transfer. How you take the information and how you use it, it's all up to you. You pay for it and they're done with you. At Global Capital Inc., we operate at a different level. We truly embrace our civic social responsibility as we roll out our content. So we put tremendous emphasis on information transfer, superior information transfer, financial intelligence information transfer. We work with you to bring it to the point to be able to apply that information, and we work with you to experience the results of this information. So in other words, what I'm saying, because the language that we are talking is financial intelligence, if you put $10 into the cookie jar, this is the kind of cookie jar you want to get your hand caught in, right? You are likely to take out 10x the amount that you put in because of the information and the knowledge transfer and the application and the results that you're going to be getting. All right. This is the kind of financial cookie jar that you want your hand to be in. You want to get that knowledge. You want to soak up into that knowledge. You want to apply that knowledge. You want to get results. And this is what Global Capital Inc. is all about. All right, as we're talking about Global Capital Inc., just let me tell you a little bit more about this operation. At Global Capital Inc., to begin with, we are providing a number of key services to the private sector and the public. And one of those services is where we look at corporate debt management. Now, corporate debt management, we see many companies across the world take out the debt, and you, in most cases, allow your debt to run the life cycle. You allow the debt to run the life cycle, the principal balance that you would have borrowed would have doubled and perhaps sometimes tripled. When we intervene, is to help you to identify innovative, creative ways to mitigate your debt cost and manage your debt life cycle. So at the end of the day, you get the equity in the asset much earlier, and you're able to leverage that equity at an earlier date to increase your opportunities and your chances of accessing more capital to expand your corporate or personal vision. Along with this, we provide services in the field of corporate wealth management. And what is this all about? This platform really helps you to understand that instead of having your excess liquidity sitting in a 0.1% interest bearing account, it's for you to identify new, innovative, creative ways to put that capital under asset management. And there's a range of portfolios that we will be showing you. Safe investment portfolio. We are not talking here about FX, foreign exchange trading. Foreign exchange trading is different from investing in index fund. Index fund, because it gives you a spread, it significantly reduces your chances of exposure. I'm not saying that we are using any of these two. We are certainly not using any of these two. We have safe platform, and as you come into our consultancy comfort zone, we will talk to you more about this. Now, along with this, and just before I go to the other topic, there's a major difference between 0.1% per annum and 5 and 6 and 7% per annum. A major difference. All right, a 5% markup on your excess liquidity can translate into millions of dollars. So it's something for you to think about. The next area that we look at is what we call your personal debt management. And what exactly do I mean by personal debt management? There are hundreds of thousands and millions of people across the world that takes out a home mortgage, or that's a debt. You take out a HELOC, that's equity leverage, but you still have debt obligation here. Do you understand how to manage this portfolio in order to mitigate debt in such a way to save hundreds of thousands and perhaps millions of dollars on those debt portfolios? We work with you on these things. Along with this, we look at personal wealth management. And personal wealth management is a very unique program because this is the program that really gets you sitting and thinking about, your emergency savings account. You need to have an emergency savings account. You need to build wealth surrounding these platforms. COVID-19 strike, it hit you hard. Are you going to wait for a second one to strike or another one to strike 3-4 years down the road and you have no financial safety net to protect yourself and to protect your loved one? This is not the way great leaders think. This is not the way socially responsible people think. So this program would really help you to understand those social responsibility best practices and you adopt them to protect yourself, your spouse, and your kids. A very unique program. So we talk a lot about emergency savings account. We talk a lot about smart investment account. We talk a lot about, all-inclusive family tour. We talk a lot about early retirement. We talk about you invested in higher education. The last thing you must do is give up on yourself when it comes to upgrading the level of your intelligence. You want to invest time, talent, and resources to upgrade the value that you're putting into yourself because you become more valuable to people the more you invest in yourself. Do you have an investment account for higher learning? Never give up on yourself. Do you have your children college fund all set out? So when we talk about your personal wealth management, these are all the things that we are talking about. And these are things that you should be talking about if you want to be socially responsible to yourself, to your spouse, to your loved ones. You at least should ensure that you have this kind of information so you can make informed and educated decisions about protecting yourself and protecting your loved ones. All right, so the 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp will give you all of this and so much more. The Global Capital Inc. brand are looking at these key areas at the moment. All right, so I want to encourage you to feel free to reach out to us. Consultations are all free. We will be happy to sit with you and give you a one-on-one. We'll be happy to enroll you in the several um, financial leadership programs that we have that are designed to really give you a different perspective on wealth building. And within 5 to 10 years, bring you to that point where you are experiencing financial independence. Who want to remain on that train of working paycheck to paycheck? You want to remain there so your spouse can get, you know, feel a sense of dissatisfaction with your primary source of income, your single source of income? No, you want to get on that train, where you can have multiple streams of income. The information that we're going to provide for you will help you to achieve this. All right, again, my name is Gary Thompson. It has been such a pleasure being with you today. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the multiple best-selling author for several books, including Billionaire Codes and Manager's Toolkit. My new books, 10X, Branding and Marketing, The Psychology of Doing Business, will be out in 2021. And it's a very, very unique book. You will learn from A to Z in branding and marketing and how to take your ideas and leverage it to make larger than life impact and achieve global impact at the same time. Very, very unique book. In closing, I just want to remind you that our mission at Global Capital Inc. is to position our clients, employees, and strategic partners to understand, create, and leverage passive income cash flow, build multiple streams of income, leverage smart investment strategies in order to build generational and intergenerational wealth. In our programs, you will learn about financial intelligence in the commercial financial sector, financial intelligence in the investment financial sector, financial intelligence and smart capital market, and financial intelligence and the sustainable livelihood. It's also important for you to recognize that financial intelligence goes beyond your ability to make money and maximize your disposable income. It addresses the issue of understanding the global financial system and leveraging this intelligence to create good debt cash flow, minimize existing debt financial portfolio, while maximizing financial and equity capital gain. The understanding of the commercial financial sector, the investment financial sector, and smart capital market are an important body of knowledge for you to have in the global landscape of financial intelligence. So I trust that you enjoyed today's program. Remember, today we looked at smart capital market or the beginner's financial markets. And in looking at this, we look at the three talking points under this heading. Those three talking points are as follow: team target market analytics. First one is target market analytics. The second is value proposition analytics. And the last one is team dynamics analytics. And what we did today, we unlock target market analytics. And in such, we look at speculative market analytics, we look at secondary market analytics, and we look at primary market analytics. And we emphasize the importance of you doing primary market research when you are making any attempt to access smart capital market and the beginner's capital market or the beginner's financial market. You're going here to provide value for money. You want to understand that market long before you develop your value proposition. Tomorrow, we will be looking at value propositioning when you are positioning yourself to access a smart capital market or the beginner's financial market. Be blessed, be safe. We're in a period of COVID-19. I want to encourage you to take that time to protect yourself, protect your loved ones, protect those closest to you. I also want to encourage you to like, subscribe, and share this information within your network to help us to reach as much people as possible. Again, be blessed, be safe, and see you on the other side.